In this video, we will be reviewing skills for solving a linear equation with one variable. As we look to the equation on the left side, it is written as 3 times the quantity of 2x plus 1 minus 5 equals 7. First, we must observe that there is a grouping symbol, that is a parenthesis, that need to be removed. In order to simplify this problem, we first must distribute. So we're going to distribute the 3, multiplying it by 2x, and then also take the 3 and distribute it and multiply by 1. So that will be 3 times the 2x plus 3 times the 1. If we multiply 3 times 2x gives us 6x, and 3 times 1 gives us 3. We're going to go ahead and bring the remaining part of the problem down that has not been manipulated and rewrite it as one equation. Now, we must look and determine, are there any like terms that we can combine? Well, there's only one 6x, but if we notice on the left side of the equal sign, besides the 6x, we have the 3 minus 5. We can combine those two. Once we combine those two, we will rewrite the problem one more time, and we will again bring down every term that has not been manipulated or touched. So we have 6x, and then we have 3 minus 2 with 5, which is a negative 2, equals 7. Again, if you notice, the 3 is positive, the 5 is negative, or we can look at it as plus 3 minus 5. That gives us the negative 2. Now we have a 6x minus 2 on the left side of the equal sign, and we have a 7 on the right side of the equal sign. Now we have to solve to get the variable by itself and isolate. So what we must do is we must add 2 to both sides using inverse operations to isolate the variable. In this video, we're going to review skills for solving a linear equation with one variable. We're going to start with the equation on the left side. The equation on the left side is written as 3 times the quantity of 2x plus 1 minus 5 equals 7. Notice there is a grouping symbol. The grouping symbol has to be broken down. In order to do that, we must use distributive property to multiply and remove the grouping symbol. We will take 3 and multiply it by 2x, and 3 and multiply it by the 1. 3 times 2x give us 6x. 3 times 1 give us 3. And so now we're going to bring down the minus 5 and equal 7. Those are the remaining terms in the problem that have not been manipulated or changed. Now we will look at the left side of the equal sign and determine if there are terms that needs to be combined. Notice, if I look at the left side of the equal sign, I see that there's a positive 3 and a minus 5. Once I combine like terms, 3 that is positive minus 5 is a sum of negative 2. So now I'm going to rewrite my problem as 6x minus 2 equals 7. Make sure we make that x look like a variable. Here we go. Now, we have to isolate the variable. In order to isolate the variable, we're going to use inverse operations to isolate the variable. When I say isolate the variable, we want to focus on this term here. We want to get x by itself. So in order to do that, we're going to use inverse properties. So, well, let's get rid of the 2. So what is the inverse of subtraction? If you said addition, that is correct. We're going to add the opposites. What we do to one side of the equal sign, we do it to the other in order to balance the equation. The -2 and the +2 cancels, and we will bring down the remaining terms that have not been manipulated or altered or touched. So 6x, it stays. Bring down your equal sign. And 7 plus 2 equals 9. We're a step closer to solving and isolating our variable. We just have a couple more steps to go. Now lastly, the operation on the left side says 6 times x, or 6x. The inverse operation for multiplying is dividing. So lastly, we need to divide both sides by the coefficient of x, which is 6. Once we do that, 6 divided by 6 gives us 1x. We do not have to write the 1 in front of the x. We keep the x by itself. And then we're going to reduce 9/6, and we will have it as 3/2. So the solution becomes x equals 3/2. Let's now focus on the equation to the far right side. Notice there is no grouping symbol, so we don't have to distribute it in this problem. However, let's go ahead and get rid of the fraction. So in order to get rid of the fraction, let's multiply by the common denominator. So we're going to multiply the entire problem by 2. Once we do that, the 2's cancel, and then we also are going to multiply it by every remaining term. So we end up with 5x plus 3 minus 12 equals 50. I'm going to go ahead and erase a little bit of this because I've connected the equal sign with a number. Now we're going to go ahead and determine, are there any like terms that needs to be combined? Well, if we look on the left side, we can combine the like terms of +3 and -12. Here's where we're going to combine like terms. Once we combine those terms, we will have 3 minus 12, which is equals -9. So 5x minus 9 equals 50. I'm going to make that 5 look more like a 5 because right now it kind of looks a little funny. So we're going to make that 5 look more clearly like a 5. I don't want to confuse anyone. All right, so once we have the equation, all variables are together. We have now to isolate it, and we have to get all the other terms on the other side of the equal sign. So we're going to use inverse operations. We're going to add the opposite, which is 9, to both sides. -9 plus 9, those cancel. We have 5x equals 59. And last, we want to use inverse operations. And again, we have 5x, which is the same as 5 times x. We're going to divide on both sides by 5. Divide by 5 because it's the coefficient to x. We want to isolate it. 5 divided by 5 is in fact 1, or we write 1x, and we don't need to write the x in front, the 1 in front of the x. And 59 divided by 5, well, that does give us a decimal, but we do not write in decimal. We always write it as an improper fraction that is reduced. So 59/5 will be the appropriate answer. These are your solutions to both equations.